All right, welcome back, everybody. Well, today, since I have a bad habit of using my truck as probably too much of a truck, and sometimes it's got a little bit too much weight in it, don't tell anybody. But anyway, anybody that knows me can vouch for it, and I'm sure you've seen the pictures or videos before of being way overloaded. Well, way overloaded weight-wise, but we're going to solve that. We got two things we're going to do today. One is these helper springs. Super simple to install here. I'm going to show you how to do it. So anyway, we're going to install these helper springs. They're pretty self-explanatory. They're pretty simple. Three-way, they give you, I don't know, 800, 1,200, 1,500 pounds adjustment, something like that. I'm sure the bot says it somewhere, and I don't know. I can't see it on here. Let's see. Maybe it says it on the back. 1,000 to 1,500 pounds, something like that. Blah, blah, blah. Yep. Okay. Anyway. So what you're going to want to do is, number one, make sure everything's in the box. Number two is, it's got this pin in here. Not sure really what it exactly does. But one hole is for less weight. The back hole is for more weight. Tools we'll need, a couple wrenches. I grabbed a socket. At least for this kit, it's 3/4 for the U-bolts and 1/2 inch and a 13 for the front clamp. Well, it would be the rear clamp. Anyway, like I said, there's not much to this, so this is going to be part one. Well, not part one. Stage one, we're going to put on the helper springs here. Stage two, I got these bad boys. Some load adjusting shocks. I think these things are good for up to like 1,200 pounds capacity, something like that. Like I said, I like to use my truck probably a little more than a truck. Between trailers and when I haul it up with coal and stuff, you just got to help it out a little bit. So let's get cracking on this. And I'm going to show you what to do. Step one is to get your truck off the ground, car, whatever you got that's got leaf springs on it. And I'm just going right off of the hitch, because you don't want to pick off the axles. You want the springs unloaded as you install these. Now I'm throwing parts. Throw it back this way. So I just went on the hitch, because I know even if the jack drifts down, the truck sits high enough, I don't have to worry about crushing me. But if you want, jack it up, put jack stands underneath it. But either way, you just want the axle unloaded. And let's bring it down here. Hopefully for the most part you can see this. This bolt, I kind of got started here because once you slip it through, you got to back that off. Put it in. I'll show you. Figure out your placement. Like I said, I want more load, so I got it on the back hole. The closer you got to the shackle back here, the more load capacity you have. Man, I got to descale this and paint this. This is rough, to say the least. So, this through. I'm going to run a nut in. That way then I can slip it in the bracket. This nut started. Bam. Okay, now the back started. So you're going to figure out where you want to place this. Now I'm going to line it up right with the rear edge of the leaf spring here. I'll show you in a minute. That way it'll be easier for me to make sure it is center on both sides. We'll get our U-bolt. So I'm just going to get it all started now. Keep it loose. I think I'm going to have to start it a little bit lower and then shimmy it up. Maybe if I lower it down, I get this started, and then I can put it up. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Now, let's see if that's any better. That is better. Okay. Plan B, at least for mine, I put a little weight on the wheels, compress the spring a little bit. That way I could start this nut that must have some awesome thread on it because it kind of fight me a little bit. So we got them started. Now, you're going to want to make sure I ain't getting out no tape measures or nothing. Man, I got to clean this rust. This rust is bad. Well, I have it all set up here. I'll show you in a second what I'm looking at. Like I said, I slid it back almost as far as I could up to the shackle, just with how large the U-clamp is here. And I have about a half a nut started. And I put weight on it because of this lower spring here. I couldn't get it all the way back to the shackle. God, I can't speak. But anyway. But made sure they're both pretty much even all the way back. You know, just by eyeball. I didn't get tape measure out or nothing. And then just kind of eyeball it, make sure it's centered on the leaf spring itself. I think these are 2.5 inch wide leaves. So I got centered in here. Let me show you. Okay, here's the passenger side here. You can see back here, just this top bolt just goes through. U-bolt's on. Have it in the rear hole for more load. And what you want to do is make sure it's basically centered on the leaf spring, side to side. And then what you're going to do is tighten up your U-bolt. So I have it raised back up off the ground. You tighten up your U-bolt, whatever, 70 foot-pounds. You know me, I sure as heck ain't putting a torque wrench on it. I'm just going to tighten it up. And you're going to tighten this one, which I don't know if I can show you here. Yeah, I can show you. Inside nut and outside nut. This is like a jam nut. So you're going to kind of back this inside one off and tighten this one so it gets close. I'm not going to pinch it tight and really smash this thing in, but I'm just going to kind of snug it against it and then lock it all down. Exhaust is kind of in my way. Now what you want to do here is go back and forth, because as you tighten one side, the other side's going to loosen. Just work back and forth as it compresses the spring and it pinches it up. So this side's tight in the front anyway, on the axle side. So I'll shoot over to the other side, snug them up. Well, not snug them, but tighten them up. And then I will do this back one. I will tighten this up and, oh, there we go. Not much to it. Probably take you about 20 minutes to get them all done. Like I said, they're on, and don't be surprised, it will raise your truck or car or whatever you're using them on. So we're going to lower this down. Probably jump on the back for a couple times just to see. Yeah. I'm not going to go far with the jack. I'm going to need the jack for the shocks. I think it might have raised it about a half an inch. I'm not sure. I didn't measure. But it's clearing everything. As I said, you want to double check. Make sure it's going to clear, that bracket's going to clear. If anything, you might have to sand. Take a grinder and grind the edges off. That way she clears everything. But from what I see, I'd be all right. So there you go. Not much of that. Now, onto the other beast. It does feel stiffer. It feels a little stiffer. Yeah. Now, the shocks on this bad boy aren't that old. They're maybe a year old, year and a half old. There's some cheap ones. Who would have thought? But anyway, I mean, they work. They do what they're supposed to. I mean, obviously, it's she's a little stiffer now, but I mean, we want to make sure she's stiff enough. So I'm gonna put these bad boys on now. These are obviously better ones than what are on there. These are Monroe's, and this is, if it pertains to anybody, this is going on a 2007 Dodge Dakota. Helper springs are universal. They're for whatever. But the part number for these things are eluding me. 58650. 58650. That's the part number on these load adjusting shocks that are for 2007 Dodge Dakota. But you can get them for pretty much anything. So, now if I remember right, one of these bolts on the other side, I think I messed with it at work, but I ground down a wrench. I think it was an 11/16 because a jam nut up top on the inside that you really can't get to is rusted fast. So we had to cut that bad boy off of there and put a regular bolt in, grade 8, of course. I think it's grade 8. I don't know. I'll find out in a couple minutes. But I might have to modify a wrench to make that work. We're going to find out. But I do have the jack out here. Because unlike regular shocks, I'm going to have a hard time trying to compress these to get them all hooked up. So I'm going to have to re-jack it back up to do this. Yeah. Jack in the truck, jack in the truck. With a floor jack that is way oversized, but it works, it does the job. It leaks down a little bit. I was debating how much I wanted to show you for a simple shock change, but I figured I'll clip these in here. It's just, I mean, maybe if I was on under a lift, and I could actually press up, get more than 6 inches off the ground, it'd be all right. But being under the vehicle here, you might have to take the jack. Oh, where are you all raising up here? Are you caught? You got to be caught. God dang it. I need to get that swivel a hair. There we go. Let's try that. Now, let me get a screwdriver here or a hammer. That is definitely hitting. I'm going to have to lower that down. Give her some love. Man, I know what we're doing. Whoa! That was almost to the face. I've got to give her some tweakling. Is she enough? Eyeball says close, so I'm going to go. a little bit with it. It ain't gonna hurt. The bolt will pull it back in. I'm not too worried about it. Ouch! Hey man, there's a drive shaft there. It's close. Okay, which way do you gotta go? You gotta go up a hair. No, you don't. Just need a hammer. One is installed. And that was the easy side. Well, there you go. After a bunch of rust, and remember I told you that I had a special wrench for the other side because of the factory nut with the stop on it. I dried it off and I had to cut it off when I did these shocks. Here's my special wrench. So, yeah, I just put that in a vise and bent her over before. But anyway, after fighting, we got that side done. We got them both done. And as you can see, there's nothing inherently wrong with these shocks. They're actually still decent. They got good dampening on them, and as you can see, good rebound, but just not heavy enough for what we need. Now, I do have the truck on the ground. It is, I think it's about 2 inches higher than what I started with today, which I really wasn't looking for height. I was just looking for capacity. But she's stiffer. Ugh. Definitely got some stiffness to it, which is what we wanted. So let me show you what the new bad boys look like. I gotta get underneath. Well, as you can see, we have our leaf spring helper springs. They are bolted in place. And right in front of that, as you can see the shock, I'll show you this side, you can see it better. Oh, let me go the other side. Yeah. Yeah, here we go. There you go. Now you can see it. You got the leaf spring helper and the coil spring shock. And then up in here, right inside there, is the nut that really likes to fight with me. As you can see, it's in a great spot. You can only get it from the top here. So these are only 2 bolts. Pop these in and out pretty easy. So I didn't bother really showing you a whole lot with that. And hopefully you found this video half entertaining, half helpful. Don't mind my hairy belly there. Wiping some sweat. But anyway, let this car pass. There's my special wrench. If you still got the factory bolt with the stop on it, great. Use spray. Spray's your friend. You know, some good penetrating oil, some Croil or something, PB Blast, anything. Anything's better than nothing. But anyway, hopefully you found this video half helpful, half entertaining. And as always, give a like, thumbs up, thumbs down if you want. You know, if I did that bad of a job, I don't think I did, but I probably did. But anyway, I prefer a thumbs up. There goes that special wrench. Like, subscribe, share. You know, subscribe to the channel. Let's grow it a little bit. Kind of like, well, I know I'm terrible with the videos. I'll get there. So anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. Let's go mess with some other stuff. I gotta clean up.